Thank you for tuning in to NSUSpartans.com. I'm Matt Mihalik from the Norfolk State Sports Information Office, and today it's time to preview the 2017-2018 men's basketball season. Just a couple days away, the Spartans get the season underway this weekend in SEC country at Auburn before returning for their home opener on Monday, November 13th against Lynchburg College. We're now joined by the head coach entering his fifth season, leading the Spartans. Head coach Robert Jones joining us here today. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Doing well. Well, it's that time of year again. The season's right upon us again. And before we look at 2017, 2018, looking back at last year, another successful season for your program by a number of measurements. A sixth straight postseason appearance, another berth in the CIT, made it to the MEAC Tournament Championship game. But I know you haven't been shy about using that loss in the Tournament Championship game to kind of be a motivating force, driving force for your team in the offseason. Talk a little bit about that and sort of how you've used that to get the guys' attention heading into this season.
I think with a lot of guys returning, well, 6 guys returning or so, I think that these guys use as motivation every day. We were 14 minutes away from living these kids' dreams of getting to March Madness. So I think they think about those 14 minutes every day. I do think that in practice they use it as motivation. They talk about it in practice. I hear them even without me saying anything, they talk about it a little bit, before practice, after practice, when they're in their own player huddles and things like that. So every day we try to get better so we can, have a better showing in March when hopefully we're fortunate enough to get back to the MEAC championship game again.
You mentioned that veteran presence on your roster. 6 guys back who played extensively last year. Another in Preston Bungay who sat out the season. It has to be a pretty comforting feeling for you, though, knowing that one of those guys is a point guard, a senior leader, and Zanai Robinson, who's been an All-MEAC performer and a multiple-year starter. What are some things you're looking for out of Z this year, his senior season?
I think I'm looking for more his leadership than anything. I think just natural progression, his stats are going to go up. So I'm not looking for him to average 20 points. If he does, he does. I think his stats are going to go up anyway. But just for him to be a leader, because even though we do have a bulk of returnees, there are some new guys that we're going to lean on, and hopefully they'll be able to produce for us. So he's going to have to groom those guys and bring those guys along. And like you said, with Preston, he's a returnee in a sense, but he has missed a whole year. So he's kind of among those new guys as well. So just bringing him back into game, speed is going to be a lot on Z, because he is the guy that, has played over 100 games here. So, I look forward to his leadership more than anything.
You mentioned some of the younger players on your roster. I think anyone who's watched the program over the last few years can certainly notice that you guys have never lacked for talent. You never lacked for developing guys who've been able to come in and especially put the ball in the basket. A couple of years ago, we had 3 double-figure scores. We lost off of one team, led by Jeff Short and Deshaun Taylor. People may have been wondering, well, hey, what's going to happen next? Jonathan Wade steps in off the bench, averages almost 20 points a game last year. Now that Jonathan Wade's gone, I guess the next question is, we know about Zanai Robinson. Who are maybe some of the other guys that might be able to take that next step up in productivity and put the ball in the basket for you?
Well, hopefully there is another Jonathan Wade laying around that averages 6 points and goes to almost 20 points a game. But I think it'll be more about committee. I think Preston is going to come back. He's going to be able to score some points for us. So Robinson's average, should go up with just natural progression, like I mentioned. And then with Alex, Long, another preseason all-conference performer, I think his averages should go up a little bit as well. And then with the newcomers, we look at Nick Thomas and Derek Jameson, as guys that should be able to contribute as well. And then we can't forget about Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams, he was a part-time starter last year, and he's our leading returning scorer at the wing at 6.2, I think it is. So we look for him to have an impact as well. And then I guess last but not least, Stephen Whitley, who sat out for us last year. He's a strong, powerful guard. He has some Division I experience at Robert Morris. So we look for him to once again kind of get back in the fold. And he took a year off as well too. So we think that him and Preston, we think they'll be better mid-season, towards the end of the season, than they might be at the beginning of the season, just kind of knocking off some of that rust.
Is it fair to say that this, on paper, could very well be one of your better shooting teams as well? We've seen some in the preseason what Nick Thomas can do. You mentioned Derek Jamerson has that reputation from junior college, and guys like Zanai Robinson and Kyle Williams, we know they can knock it down from deep as well.
Yeah, in theory, we didn't shoot it that well the other day, but in theory, it was it should be our best shooting team, honestly. Derek Jameson, I tell people all the time, this is my 11th season overall here, and I think that he's the best shooter that I've seen walk through the doors here, and that's better than, and no knock on anybody else, but he's if you come to practice, you'll see that everyone almost thinks it's going in when he shoots the ball. So I think that he just has to get a little bit more comfortable in game-like situations and, adjusting to the speed of the game and the atmosphere so he can settle down and shoot the ball the way he shoots it in practice. So we really look forward to him, being one of our long ball threats. And like you said, Nick Thomas can shoot it. Zanai Robinson can shoot it. Preston Bungay has improved his jump shot. I know 2 seasons ago he only made, I think, 1 3 for the whole year. But, we look for him to at least make one a game. So I think that he's improved his shooting. So, we do have a couple of good shooters, and hopefully it is the best shooting team that we've had.
We don't want to neglect the big guys inside too, and you got to say for a MEAC team, it's pretty rare to have 4 big bodies back. The likes of Stavian Allen, Alex Long, who came into his own last year, a couple of 7-footers, pretty rare. And then obviously hoping to get the services of Jordan Butler back for the second semester. What kind of luxury is that for you as a coach to have guys that can really do a little bit of everything? Whether you want an athletic big, you want more size inside, shot blocking, they can, as collectively as a group, it seems like they can pretty much do whatever you need them to do.
Yeah, I think it'll allow us to play different ways, because even with those guys that you mentioned, we can also, because Preston Bungay played the 4, when he played his junior year, so we can always bring him back down there as well for just a quicker lineup and mismatches and things like that. So we can match him with a Alex Long or match him with a Dan Robinson or Brian Gelino and, just be a quicker, So I think that our forward depth, especially in league play, I think overall we should have the best forward crop in the league. We might not have the best forward or anything like that individually, but I think that we have the best depth in the league. So that should hopefully pay dividends for us. And then as well, we bring all those guys back. They're the most experienced group out of all of our guys. There's some young guards and things like that, but those guys, every single last forward, is returning. So, hopefully they went through the battles and they understand the physicality and things like that they have to produce down there. So, we look forward to, having a great year.
Well, the season gets underway here this weekend. Another challenging schedule put forth for your guys. Starting off, as I mentioned, with Auburn, have a couple of Mid-American teams coming too. Joseph Eccles Hall this year, some interesting road trips as well. Tell us a little bit about the schedule. What are some things that you're looking forward to, the challenges that await you here in the non-conference season before MEAC play starts?
Well, just starting off against Auburn is going to be a test in itself. Last year we started off against Mississippi State and we fell short by 4 points. But that was a tough battle. It wasn't easy by any means. So hopefully this year we can, just be in the game and hopefully win the game at the end. But Auburn they're a pretty good team. They have 3 guys on the NBA roster. They have a couple good recruits, coming in. So that's going to be a tall task. But the guys are ready, and they will be even more ready, by the time we get down there. So I think we'll be okay. But then after that, we come back home and play Lynchburg. So Lynchburg actually is a pretty good shooting team. So that'll test us in different ways. And then, we hit the road for one of our longest trips, well, the longest trip, to go out to San Diego, University of San Diego, which is, I think, predicted mid of the pack in the West Coast Conference, which is a very good conference with Gonzaga and those guys like that. So it's going to be a test. One of the biggest tests early is going to be Grand Canyon. They play in an environment that's almost sold out every game. This is their first year of eligibility, NCAA-wise for the NCAA tournament. They've been great the last few years, 25-9 records, 26 wins, 28 wins, things like that. So, that's going to be one of those interesting atmospheres that you talked about. We'll see how we could adjust to that. And, of course, they have a good coach out there, and Dan Marley. He's doing a good job out there. And then, those games that we have at home, are very key games for us, with Kent State and Bowling Green coming here. Bowling Green, we're finishing up the home-and-home series, and Kent State, we're starting a home-and-home series. But just having 2 MAC conference teams come to Joseph Eccles, we have to try to take full advantage of that. So, we'll be prepared for that. But then, we go on, play on the road a little bit more, Loyola and a couple other teams, and then, of course, the Old Dominion game. And that's a big game for us, There's really no shying away from that. I know every time you say, every game is the same and, treat every game as the same. And you do in preparation. But I think that the Old Dominion game is a big game for us because the last time we played them, it was, I believe, a 9-point loss, a couple years ago. And, it was amazing. After that game, a lot of people came up to us and, I think we gained some new fans or new respect because they thought it was going to be a 30 or 40-point game, and it wasn't even close to that. So I think that, a good showing and a victory against Old Dominion, really helps change a lot of things for the program, whether it's perception or anything like that. You know, a win over a rival, you know, like Hampton is just kind of like a win or a loss in your column. You know, you get fans mad with you for a couple days if you lose. You know, get fans happy with you for a couple days if you win. But a win over Old Dominion, is, you know, would be a program changing. Then we finish up, you know, with Stony Brook, which is a good America East team. You know, I think they won the regular season, I believe, 3 out of the last 4 years. So, you know, that's going to be a tough test for us. And we start there on the road. That's going to be a home-and-home series as well. So, although our non-conference schedule this year doesn't have a whole bunch of Auburns on it, I think there's a lot of great mid-major teams that, you know, are going to be a test for us. So it might not be a super name recognition type schedule for us, but I do think that, you know, Grand Canyon, they could beat anybody in the country. Kent State, you know, their NCAA team, you know, perennial NCAA team, and they'll be able to beat anybody in the country. Of course, Old Dominion and you know, Stony Brook is pretty good. Oh, we have Niagara too coming here, so that'll be finishing up a home-and-home series with those guys, and that's a Metro Atlantic Conference team. So, you know, we'll look forward to the schedule.
Certainly looking forward to the season. Lots of challenges in store for your team. 5 chances for fans to see the team in action at home during the non-conference season as well over the next couple months, which we'll certainly hope that fans will take advantage of that as well. Well, Coach, the season's here. We wish you best of luck at Auburn this weekend, and can't wait to see you guys back home for the opener here at Joe Eccles against Lynchburg next week.
All right, thank you, and we can't wait to see the fans back here on Monday.
All right, as usual, make sure to check out NSUSpartans.com for all your information on NSU men's basketball team. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well. And make sure to get your season tickets. They're on sale online at NSUSpartanstickets.com or on campus at the Ticket Center as well. For head coach Robert Jones, I'm Matt Mahalik for NSUSpartans.com.